Welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American. Is it safe to be in Russia? Is it safe to be an American in Russia? Is it safe to be an American Marine in Russia? Today I have Dan Castle of Wild Siberian. We are going to go on a journey through this city. We are searching for military sites that we can talk about and learn more about this wonderful country. Dan, you want to say anything?
Yeah, hello guys. My name is Dan Castle, like he said. My channel is Wild Siberia. I'm a United States Marine Corps combat veteran from the Afghanistan War, and I'm coming actually from the Irkutsk Oblast. So I live in Siberia, part of Russia, and this is my first time in Moscow, and so I'm linking up with the Expat American. We're seeing all of these different sites, and definitely there's a lot of military tradition in Russia. And I really appreciate you bringing me here because it's very important for me as a veteran to be able to see how they appreciate their people here, and you're going to get to see all of that.
Where will this journey take us? Will we succeed? Will we find what we want to find? The dog's nose people like to rub. Pretty nice.
Oh, falling? Oh. No. Yeah, it don't look like a bunker. No, there's no way. Maybe it's here.
Is my mic on? Is it worse? No, it is on. It's not that bad. But it is pretty bad. I just lost all of Sanctioned Ivan's subscribers.
No way.
Aha! There he is, and there she is. All right, guys, for the first time ever, I am in the presence of Dan Castle, an American Marine. We have been friends only online for a little less than a year. He's got his channel, I've got mine, and right now we are in the center of Moscow. It's Dan's first time in Moscow. He's brought his Russian lady friend with him.
This is my first time in Moscow. This is her first time in Moscow, and yeah, it's exciting to see such a large city.
Do you have those in your part of Russia?
I've never seen that in my life anywhere.
So Dan, I thought it would be a lot of fun for you and I, because I haven't seen it yet, to go underground and see Stalin's bunker.
Yeah.
And I want to know what an American Marine thinks of Stalin's bunker, because I have not been in the armed services, and you can explain it to me better than
well, I can definitely tell you about defensive positions because that was part of my job. So yeah, I think it would be really cool.
This is a famous metro station. It's called Revolution Square.
Yeah.
It's got lots of statues in it, and some of the statues are worn down because people touch them for good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
The dog's nose and I believe the chicken's snout, or the rooster.
No, it's the rooster. Like, there's so many spots. Like, they touch the rooster on the side. They, like this one here.
Here's the rooster. Check out the statue. So that's something that I don't see in America. How about you, Dan?
No, not normally, like unless you're going to a designated place like a capitol or some sort of memorial, but not just in a random train station, not at all.
Yeah, that's what I've thought is very curious about Moscow, is guns and statues.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Dan, before we go down into the bunker, I wanted to ask you, who are you in terms of relation to your military history? Because I think it's interesting that you are an American, but you live in Russia, and yet you still served in the American military.
Yeah, look, I joined the United States Marine Corps at the age of 18, and immediately I started training for the Afghanistan War. My primary MOS is Combat Engineer 1371. I did a couple tours to Afghanistan, and I came out decorated with combat and all that jazz. But I will say something interesting is that after the Afghanistan War and my campaigns there, we always used to think that we had to fight the Russians eventually, which is really funny because after like 2012, 2011, North Korea was like popping off, and we're thinking maybe we have to fight the Russians. So at one point in my life, I actually thought, hey, this is the country that I'm going to war with next.
Wow. Well, now you live here.
Yeah.
And you are dating a Russian woman.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Twilight Zone. Everything kind of turned around, but you know, we're gonna go see this bunker, and like I said, my job was a combat engineer, was building defensive positions, also looking for landmines, but a bunker is considered a defensive position. I'm very curious to see the structure of it, how it's positioned, and I really want to know all about it. I've never been there, and I'm very curious to see Soviet-style bunkers. Look, babe.
So we are in case you're wondering, guys, I believe a flea market that is not currently in use.
Yeah, it is next to the stadium.
Maybe it's in use in summertime, or maybe it's...
It looks like a ghost town.
Flea market. Guys, this is a first. This is the most epic fail of a video I have ever had. Because I was going to take this American Marine to the Kremlin, and it was closed. And so then I said, we're going to go to Stalin's bunker. And guess what?
It's closed as well.
It's closed. And so now we have one other chance, and that is to go to Victory Park and see the military equipment there. What do you think, Dan?
Let's see if it's open.
It's always open.
All right.
Okay, guys, we are not at Victory Park, believe it or not, because Dan didn't want to go. And that's okay. He can have his own opinion. You can have your own opinion here in Russia. Anyway, we are at a different military location, well, military-themed location, let's say. And oddly enough, it's only a couple blocks from where we first started our journey. And I want Dan to take a look at it now. And as a Marine of America, I want him to tell us what he thinks of it.
Well, look, first of all, I think this is an impressive thing. Obviously, we're in the center of Moscow, but where I'm from, there's usually like in Irkutsk, there's something similar to this. There's not guards there, but almost every city, every town in Russia has a monument to the fallen, and this is not so for the United States. So I feel a little bit emotional, even though it's not my country, the way they honor their soldiers, the way they honor their heritage, I guess, because this is not only for soldiers right now, but the men who fought and died in the Great Patriotic War. It's absolutely beautiful and meaningful. I want to make it very clear, guys, that like this is the eternal flame. Basically, you know, it has to keep running. And there's no way that Russia is going to let this turn off, especially in the center of Moscow. I know that there's monuments in the United States in older towns that have definitely let that flame burn out. The patriotism in America has gone down a lot, but I think that in Russia it's actually going up. That's another interesting fact that I can tell you. And me as a veteran of a war for America, it's a little bit shameful to know that my country doesn't really give a damn sometimes.
You said that America doesn't have what exactly? Because I've been to D.C.
Yeah, of course.
And I've seen the burning flames, and I've seen the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier
Yeah.
Cemetery, for instance. So what's the difference exactly?
Exactly what you just said is the difference. So in Washington, D.C., you'll find it. I know we're in Moscow, but I live in Siberia, Russia. I live far, thousands of miles away from Moscow. Even smaller towns have a burn, like a flame that they don't turn off, right? that is what I'm trying to tell you guys, that in Russia, they absolutely have it. In every town, there's a monument. In every town, there's at least a major town, there's a flame that's still burning. This is not so in America at all.
I see, I see. So you're saying there's more of it here. So yes, DC has it, but in here, they're celebrating and they're remembering this victory everywhere.
Everywhere. And it's very sad because, like, I can tell you right now, if I would have died in Afghanistan, I don't even think my town would know my name. And I don't even think my mother would be given, besides a flag and a little bit of money, any amount of respect. And here, you know, these names are immortalized. And I think that if you're going to give your life for your country, you should at least have your name on a damn wall. Even though I wouldn't want to die for my country because the war that I was in was meaningless, but I'm just telling you, this is something beautiful.
So where are we now, Dan?
This is Alexander's Grotto. So when Napoleon came by Moscow and destroyed the city, he devastated Moscow, obviously. This is 1812 era. And actually this is built from the ruins of the old Moscow. So that's its significance to the city.
Wow.
New beginnings after devastation of war. So this is beautiful, in my opinion.
Very, very interesting that they have this,
yeah,
you know, so that they don't forget right into the Kremlin wall
exactly
what Napoleon did and how they were brought to the brink and their culture was almost destroyed. And that brings me to something else I want to definitely cover in this video, probably maybe our most controversial question. You know, I had a friendly argument a few videos back with another YouTuber called Sanctioned Ivan.
Yeah.
I'm not a military person. I didn't serve. So I'm very open to suggestion on this. But I feel like the whole question of mobilization, you know, should a person be mobilized or not? I think that, as I said, my father, he served in Vietnam and he didn't want to be on the front lines, so he proactively signed up and got trained for medical equipment repair. I think there are guys and people that they'll enjoy a country, but if their country needs them to serve, they'll run away.
Yeah.
And I think it's an inconsistent argument to say, I'm going to enjoy this place, and other people will sacrifice for me to live and enjoy it, but I will not have any skin in the game if need be. Does that make sense? I don't know, am I wrong?
No, it totally makes sense. But as a warrior, you know, like, this is where it separates a civilian from a Marine or veteran mentality. I understand that society needs cowards, which is the lowest of the low. So we need people like in Russia and Sanctioned Ivan. You would have to consider him the biggest form of cowardice, like he's a coward. And so it gives merit to men that actually go and fight, right? And it gives merit to all of Russia. You know, there's this guy that runs away in time of that his country needs him, but his country doesn't persecute him. Like, he's actually still living here, and that gives a bonus to what Russia is. You can be a coward, you can disgrace your country, and look, there's Western countries saying, no, they'll put you in jail, they'll throw you in the gulag and all this crazy stuff, but I mean, we need people like him to show the rest of the world that Russia's not a bad place. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but that guy, we need people like him. He is, in my opinion, as a warrior, of course, if you're going to be a coward, be a coward. Okay, you want to enjoy the country, enjoy it, but that just shows that the country is still, I mean, a free country. If he exists, then anybody can exist here.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that most people do not want to die, but in life there is sacrifice from time to time. And I think if you're in a country that needs your service, you don't have to necessarily be front line. There are many ways that you can serve.
Yeah, definitely. I can see what you're saying, but it is a little dangerous. Once you sign your name on that dotted line, the military will put you absolutely anywhere they need you. And I understand there's the biggest fear of life and death and all these things, and not everybody is made to serve. And like I said, in my opinion, I am grateful for people like him, because it adds merit to what I did. Like in America, there's cowards, and it adds merit to what I did. And it's the same in Russia. And I can guarantee you that if he was to walk around, he understands what he is, and his insides are turning at his how disgraceful he is. And if it happens so that he gets called up and he just runs away again, it's just going to add on to that shame. And that is not our decision to judge him after that, you know. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying thank you for being the lowest in society. Talking from a warrior's mentality.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to know. I want to explore these ideas, especially since I didn't serve.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it's like to have the mind to prepare yourself mentally to go into danger like that. And, you know, I mean, the only thing worse would be for me being into the ocean with a shark, or being in a room with a religious nut with a knife. I don't know what to say.
But I will tell you that, so we spoke about my military history, but I have to say that going to war as a 19, 18-year-old and stuff like this when you're young, you kind of go into it blind, and it's a lot easier. So I don't know how old that kid is. So we'll just say that if he's 19, 20, and he's already showing signs of coward, like being a coward, you're not gonna fix that no matter what. The best time to probably do it is going blind and young, like we did it as Americans. All of my friends in combat were 19 and 20. Most of the casualties in Afghanistan were young men like my age group. And what can I say? I understand now that Russia is in this conflict. It's their young men who are going to fight.
All right, guys, what did you think of that? Click like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, leave a comment, and let us know what you think. And also, before you click the box to see what happens next, before you click the share button and interrupt my speech and send this to your friends, you want to now go over to Dan's channel, Wild Siberian, and watch me on his channel. And he is going to see Red Square with his own eyes for the first time. But that's not all. Also, Ksenia, a Russian lady, is going to see Red Square for the very first time.
Let's see.
All right, we're walking, we're rolling. Dan is next to me. He's right in shot.
Nice.
And now I'm going to say, that's how us Westerners do it. We come to Russia, we have a Russian lady friend.
Oh my God, that's horrible. But dude, I'm not even in the shot most of the time.
Oh shoot. Dan,
There's nothing else to say, but there's a Lamborghini.
And one more thing I wanted to say, guys. The show is growing like crazy all of a sudden this past week. The shorts especially, and the last full episode, which is our first full episode to start the second year of the show. And I'm having trouble reading all the comments because there's just simply so many. So in fact, the Russian comments I haven't even had time to get to this week. So if you're at all able to comment in English, that would be very helpful. And I'm going to be more likely to read it. That way, you're just translating your one comment instead of me having to translate thousands, just in the interest of time. I'm 49. You've got more years than me, probably. I've got 5 kids. You've got less kids than me, probably. So, especially if you want to leave nice comments, please try and do them in English if you can. And if they're mean comments, by all means, keep commenting in Russian. It helps the algorithm. Thanks so much, guys, for helping the show do well. It really helps the world to know the truth about Russia. and I'll see you in the next video.